the Friday the 13th Kickstarter for the Friday the 13th video game. Now, this is interesting to me, and I'm having a tough time trying to remember, but someone mentioned, well, there was a game called Summer Camp, and that's what this turned into. And they got the rights for Friday the 13th, and what they're making is a asymmetrical game. Now, I was almost certain that this was announced in the spring, but I guess it wasn't. So this is kind of cool. You take something like Evolve, but you put the player in the boots of Jason Voorhees, and you put a bunch of other players in the role of teenagers or counselors, whatever you want to call them. And basically, you either have to take Jason down or Jason kills you all. And from what they say, it's definitely going to be weighted in favor of Jason, as it
individually,
should be. Yes. Yeah. And I think it's a pretty fantastic idea for a game. Reading through it, the language that they use throughout the Kickstarter is it's a little squeamish to me. Like they take quite a bit of glee in the idea of, I think they say something like exactly like, you'll be able to pick a teen up, kicking and screaming for their lives, walk them over to some farm spikes and slam them down upon them.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's what these movies are about. And if you're going to deliver on this sort of game, you got to do it no holds barred. And it's going to only add to the tenseness and the excitement of the game. It is currently slated right now to only be a multiplayer game, but they said with stretch goals they would add single player missions in for teens and for the Jason character.
So it's 1 versus 7. Let's just say that.
Yes.
So you get up to 7. I'm sure it's up to that if you don't have as many people there. Obviously, you want 7 people though, because I imagine that Jason is physically stronger than you. You stand little chance. There are different classes though of counselor. There's the jock who might be a little stronger.
Girl next door.
There's a tech guy or nerdy guy who supposedly can maybe like make the phones work or whatever. So it sounds like there's gonna be solutions to get the police there to team up and put the boat together to get across the lake away from Jason. You will have to work together.
Well, yeah, it explicitly states that to kill Jason, you will need teamwork or an exceptional amount of luck.
Or just run and try to hide make it through the night.
Yeah, because killing is not the only way to win. Escape is a very viable option that I think many people who are going to win are going to have to use.
It's going to be semi-open world. Who knows how big the landscape's going to be? I'm hoping a decent...
decent chunk.
Yeah, so you can hide, obviously.
I hope Jason gets some powers like, almost like the mist transportation, like the ability to just kind of appear out of nowhere, or, walk very slowly, but actually, kind of always be around.
But, like I said, it's a fascinating concept just because we've only had one other Friday the 13th game that I know of, the NES one, where and they actually retweeted I tweeted something and the team retweeted what I said. It was a stupid joke about the NES version. I think I said stretch goal 150,000. The map works.
Yeah, I saw that.
So you got the original composer involved with the project, which is cool.
I believe you got the original guy who
Kane Hodder.
Yeah,
who took it on after 6 and going forward was he's the definitive.
And he was
Jason.
he was actually on for the. Here comes the SARS. He was actually on for the original Summer Camp game, and then it transitioned into this, which is perfect. So mocap and stuff is going to look
it's going to
just
be him.
like
he's
him.
a hulking huge guy. Like when you ever see a picture of Jason, you think of the hulking 6'5" linebacker Jason. You don't think of the smaller one from the second and third movies.
Right.
You think of once you get to 6, 7, 8, and 9 and 10 and Freddy vs. Jason, that's the big one you think of. Because he was a little smaller in the first, in the second and third one.
Well, he wasn't. Yeah, not
he wasn't small.
Second and third,
but he was smaller. And I think it was a different guy in the fourth one who was a little bit bigger. Baghead Jason, yes, in the second one. Which those movies are creepy to me. For some reason, being a baghead made it seem like it was more real.
I gotta be honest with you, as far as movies go that continuously scare the shit out of me to this day, Jason movies scare the fuck out of me.
I don't like
Friday the 13th movies. Yeah.
I don't like slasher movies except for Friday the 13th. For some reason, I don't like the genre. I think it's all schlocky. For some reason, the mythology of it's like the perfect camp counselor, legend movie. Like, you know what I mean? Like they've done other ones, cheap movies in the late 70s, early 80s when all these became big. There was a lot of movies that came like this, but this is the one that stuck with people, even before the hockey mask.
Yeah, the Friday the 13th movies fascinate me. And then as far as beyond that, the only other slasher movies I really like are Halloween 1, 2, 3, and H2O, and 3 isn't a Michael Myers movie. But that's really, I'm not a big slasher movie fan either. But yeah, the Jason movies just have so much crap at this point behind them that it's hard not to be kind of fascinated by this cobbled together mythos.
Oh yeah, you have the mom, you have the hockey mask. He's a kid that the counselors let drown in the legend, and he comes back for his revenge after his mom gets killed in the second one. I think it's interesting, just like you said, you can pick your type. You can be the girl next door who maybe is a little bit, more wily. It'd be interesting to see how they come up with game mechanics to incorporate all these different types.
Yeah, because there's a picture of one. It's like the edgy guy. And he's got what's the edgy guy
gonna
have? What's his edge over the other person?
He probably has like a cool quip he can say to throw Jason off for a second.
He dies quicker. He's the hard mode character. I mean, I don't know.
There was a picture in the Kickstarter of like one of the most famous kills in the entire saga is when two people are having sex and Jason takes a spear and kills them both. And they show that in the game. Now I wonder if you can do activities like that for like a power-up boost. So say you can like engage in sex, but then you're vulnerable for a couple minutes and can't get out. But if you succeed, then you're like powered up somehow. I'm thinking out loud, like that could be cool.
Yeah.
But you can be killed if you're found easily. I think that's the cool thing about this is that, yeah, you can't just come up to Jason, even though probably all 7 could come to Jason with a bat and try to hit him. It'll just be like, whatever, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead.
So you figure if they got the mechanics right, a couple swings, even if it doesn't kill him, it's going to knock everyone over.
Yeah. So it might be able to slow him down, but you probably have to engage traps, multiple traps. His health bar is probably 10 times what a player's is.
I imagine it'll be about as hard as the NES one, but with a functioning map system.
Functioning map system, finally. So I'm looking forward to this. This is something that you could actually probably see me play if this comes out, if I have time to have fun again in my life. Like actually stream, and I actually would play this, and coordinate with Ian. We can actually be on Twitch and have fun.
Maybe.
So would you be the girl next door in it? Would you pick
Probably.
Now, maybe the girl next door doesn't ever trip and fall. Maybe that could be like one of the sort of abilities of the girl next door.
Well, it depends on it depends on what they decide their final girl, archetype would be.
Yeah, you have the girl next door. You have the slutty girl. You have the jock. You have the asshole guy. You have the nerdy guy. Running out. Edgy guy.
Minority guy
is it's harder to survive with the minority guy.
I would imagine.